to order the City of Franklin 2013 September 23rd Fair Commission meeting. Madam Clerk, can you do roll call at 13? 13?
Rosie Bosch.
Here.
Ken Sweeney.
Here.
Dave Lidner.
Here.
Wayne Hustad.
Here.
Alderman Mayer.
Here.
Alderman Nelson is not. That's our new language. John Trudeau is not here. Dharma Hammond is not here. And Angie Beyer. And me. All right, we have a quorum.
Citizen comment period there. Close that. Next on the agenda is revenue and expenses from the 2021 St. Martin's Labor Day Fair.
And for future years, this is too close to the fair because the payroll this week. So I have no reports. And nobody from the police department's here, nobody from the fire department's here, nobody from Public Works is here. So I can tell you that in collecting, checking permits, the winners again were Dave and Rosie. So we did collect, I think it was 3 people who did not have, did you have 2?
I had 2 that had no permits, yes.
And then there was 1 more, and then we did get some extra footage. But I think we will revise when we send the property owners in the footprint. We give them 2 parking passes. I think we'll revise the letter that we send, reminding them that anybody that is on their property needs a permit. For a while, everybody knew that, and all of a sudden, there's a couple people that
Our new ones.
yeah, and don't read the letter. So we'll have to. We already have it in the works to revise that. So. The expenses that I'm aware of, aside from payroll, which from police and fire are very large expenses. The only other expense is for the porta-johns and the sinks. So, and that 6.
How much for cleanup?
Cleanup is Public Works. They did it rapidly. I don't know if you noticed
They did.
how fast it was,
Yes,
but
I
they
was there
really,
at 10 o'clock Tuesday. If it wouldn't have been for some tents or trailers, you wouldn't even know where's the fair.
yeah. So the
Trailers, you wouldn't even know where's the fair.
yeah. So the people from John's drive the truck, and then the Public Works actually do the throwing in. And they said that the driver actually drove, and instead of just stopping, and he actually got out of the vehicle and helped Public Works load up all the stuff where there were piles. So it was pretty fast, and they were cleaning the street by, I think, 8:30 or 9 in the morning.
Yeah, they went out the street sweeper now. That makes
Yeah.
it fast.
Going through, cleaned it all
Yeah,
up.
get
Really.
those
Yeah.
whatever's left.
So
Plus they're using leaf blowers instead of rakes. They go through, they blow it all.
Yeah, they blow
the
everything.
street sweeper. That's awesome.
yeah. So we're too early for revenue and expenses because of how the payroll and accounts.
Down from, 'cause I mean, there was a lot of empty spaces. How many were we down from?
And I think some people who used to get 30 feet only got 15 feet. So when we used to sell, I think we had 178 in 2019. No, 98 in 2019. No, I'm sorry, 173, and we had 148. That included food, merchandise, and homegrown. So even though homegrown isn't a paid, vendors registered to go out to the fair.
Yeah, a lot of them said that they
I think
were,
that'll improve. I think a lot of that was COVID related.
right,
Oh,
they
yeah.
weren't
Mhm.
sure what the
Sure.
turnout
Sure.
was,
Yeah.
and they only
Right.
got half the amount,
Right.
and then they're
Yeah.
kicking themselves because they were really selling on Sunday. It was Monday that they were
Mhm.
just walking around, people were just walking.
And I talked to a couple of vendors who said Monday was just a lot
guess it
better
was
than
what they were
Sunday.
talking
Yeah,
about.
it's whatever
But
the people
my,
were selling.
My produce guys were sold out on Sunday. They had to go back and, they left like, I don't know, like 4:30 on Sunday afternoon, pulled out to go home and pick, because they had nothing left for Monday.
Well, no, the weather helped.
Yes,
And I think a lot of vendors didn't know whether we were going to cancel the last minute. We had a lot of calls that week before, people asking, is the fair going to still be on? And before, people asking, is the fair going to still be on? And so,
Or how many people were going to come.
Yeah.
How much
yeah.
foot traffic they would get.
And Channel 6 was there? Yes.
Yeah, actually, the guy that you have for
Mike,
actually the guy that you have for
Mike, Strago.
wow, is he good?
He is, that's why
If
we-
anybody has not seen the Fox
the
Wake
clips.
6 wake up clips, he didn't miss a beat. He was everything. He got everybody included. He just did a really good job.
What was the letter he had? It was
Speaking.
doing every, was it a C?
C,
C. He was
yeah.
coming up with all the things that were started with a C, because there was a
Oh, yeah?
Corvette for sale, there was.
Yeah.
And
By
what
the
was
time
his
they
name?
got up to Crossroads,
What's
there
his
was well, the report.
He had a different.
No, Brian couldn't.
Yeah. What
Couldn't
was the
make
guy's
it, but
name
Brian
that spoke?
Mike
From the Lions Club, you
Shago.
wanna know, right?
Shago?
S
You mean from the
H-
from the Lions?
Yeah.
Yeah, Mike Schwago.
SHAWGO.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know. He lives on 106, or on Ryan Road.
Okay.
Bred some horses and stuff, and he
Okay.
he had his own business and stuff, but he's good, yeah. I mean, he goes around pitching for the Lions Club.
Yeah, I
He's
thought
perfect. He's perfect.
I thought he did really a great
Yeah, we got a bunch of comments.
Lions Club promo.
Yeah.
It was just
Well, for the whole semi,
Majority of
like
them all,
you said.
there was maybe one that was a little under. Didn't quite get the parking situation correct on his little clip. He kept saying that come down by the church and
oh
That way, yeah.
oh.
it's
I know
$3.
who you
It's by the church and
That way, yeah.
oh.
it's
I know who
$3.
you mean.
It's
Yeah.
wait,
Yeah.
it's
Now I
$4.
know who you mean.
Did
It'd be nice to, next year, like Spectrum News lists all the festivals.
We sent the notice to there's a farmers section, there's a fair section and I didn't see it show up on anything. The only thing that we did have was the morning after the last fair, when Rosie submitted a check, I knew we could do some paid advertising. So I contacted the South Now, and they said, oh, the deadline was Wednesday, and I think we met on a Thursday, so it was Friday morning. And I said, oh, but, this is our only opportunity. And so, and I don't think they're local anymore. They used to be in Oak Creek, and now who knows where I was calling. But she said, oh, do you have some art you can mock up and whatever? And I'm like, oh my God, I'm the furthest person to do artwork. I remembered we had the clip from 2019. And so when somebody says cut and paste, I literally sit with the scissors and cut, and then I tape it, and then I scan it in again. And they were able to use that, and I thought they did a good job. It was kind of they were able to to use that, and I thought they did a good job. It was kind of a little bit far in the back, but now that whole south now is almost all ads anyway, so people are, if they're looking for an ad, they're going to look through the whole thing. So I think it worked out nice, and we have money to spare. But the free stuff, we sent it in repeatedly. I think Shirley even called and said, did you get our thing? And I don't know if they were, I don't know what it is, if they were waiting to the last minute to make sure we didn't cancel or.
Next year, a couple weeks before, give me a.
Yeah, I don't know if we did Spectrum or not, though.
But we still have the billboards, don't we, or the sheets of whatever that
Yeah,
we
but
just
that's
change
not
the
as
date.
good as the social
No, but-
media and the Facebook. and
Correct,
the-
but at least put it on Forest Home and put it in the spots. I think we have all the signs.
Yeah, I don't.
Because we just need to change the dates
Yeah.
on them. Because we didn't put those up this year
Thinking
again.
they're at Public Works. I wonder why they didn't.
Yeah, how come that didn't get up?
I don't know.
We usually have a meeting a month before the fair, right? We gotta
Or
bring that
earlier.
up. We gotta
Or
bring that
earlier.
up
Mhm.
at that meeting and start. It'd be nice to get somebody beside Channel 6,
Oh,
Channel
yeah.
12, get them all out there.
Get them all
Yeah.
on.
Call them up and say, hey, last year Channel 6 was out there, you guys gonna cover this or not?
Yeah, last 2 years.
Even the radio stations, the one in Hales Corner.
Actually, it was on. I don't know what I heard it on. It was either WTMJ or. I don't know what
620 or
else I would
something.
have. Yeah. So update from Public Works. Police and Fire. We don't have an update. I don't think there were any major incidents, but I will get reports out to
Yeah, I
everybody.
only saw one or two B things or whatever when they went by or whatever, but I didn't see too much.
I think there were a couple ambulance runs.
We had one by the Lions thing.
That was after the fair though.
No, it wasn't.
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
okay.
no. Right when I got back from, in fact, I wasn't behind the bar yet on
That was
Sun-
on Sunday when we went by with
I
the
think it was
lady.
the guy who was sitting there. It was a guy.
Oh, was it a guy?
We had a lady after that.
Oh,
The
okay.
guy was sitting in the bar and he just yelled for somebody and just, I thought he went out and then he came back up. And that's another thing I want to bring up. When do they get their phone? Now, what that lady, when she went, or that guy that went, what that lady, when she went, or that guy that when she went down, I tried dial 911 with my cell phone, got kicked off. A couple other guys, same thing. And we didn't see no policemen walk by it right away. And it
Yeah,
was
and
not in
that
the house,
was
we had in the
another
house,
issue.
that's where we had to go. We had to go in the house and say, Sue, will you call somebody? Now, after that happened, then I talked to the police department to get the phone number up at the trailer. Well, we had another one Monday afternoon, I called that phone number. You never get, they put us on an answering machine. We cannot answer it this time.
Oh,
Would you hold on or something? Taken to the car, she refused to go to the hospital. But that first guy, he definitely, when the paramedics got there, they hooked him up and his heart was all over the place. Was beating fast and it would slow down. He was as white as a sheet and just sweating. He probably had a heart attack.
Yeah.
But we couldn't get through. No guy, and there was no policeman at that time walking on the street. So finally I ran into Sue and they said, is there any policeman in here? No, nobody's here. And then she got on her phone and called. Went through the dispatcher and must have called the dispatcher
Yeah.
direct.
why would 911 not go through?
I have no idea. Mine bounced off and
Yeah,
so did
that's-
one of,
911 not go through?
I have no idea. Mine bounced off and
Yeah,
so did one of the
that's.
Lions, other members.
I'll follow up on that with.
But if we can get
Well,
that phone
that's-
number, now after this all happened, then I finally got the phone number. And then with the next one, then we had trouble with the phone number, all we got was a recording. Like, when it's full, please stand by, please stand by,
Why didn't the 911 go through? What
I had no idea, it just cut us both off. It just went beep and we lost it. And then I had the other guy, I thought maybe I screwed up my phone or something.
Yeah.
The other guy tried it, same thing, got kicked off.
Yeah. Well, that's the first time that's happened.
Street
Did they
calls.
come down the street then?
Yeah, eventually came down with their cart.
So
But
they could come in the back too. We should-
I know they could,
We should show them that
yeah.
for next year.
But the only problem, they're stationed up there.
Yeah, but they could bring a bus.
Oh, they bring their ambulance.
Yeah, right through the back,
But they got mostly everything on that little cart.
yeah.
Had a malfunction somewhere, so they had to call in the DPW mechanic
Yeah,
on double time to.
but this is the first year we really had that much problem.
Fix
Right in the
it.
road, I mean,
But that's
Well,
really
there was actually
dangerous. If
three.
there was like
You
a
heard about the third
major.
one, right?
Yeah,
Oh,
I
The phone, the
there.
phone is the
Yeah.
thing that concerns me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no
Yeah.
reason, no excuse
What
for
would
that.
you think that would?
I don't know. I would go right to the chief and say,
Yeah.
"What's up?"
you know,
Oh, I was asking you.
Or, oh,
I was
yeah,
asking
I'm
you.
retired. I'm not.
Yeah,
he's
that's
retired.
right.
No, just to mention it, yeah.
Yeah.
All I got was
Yeah,
a
in fact,
recording.
I'll
Please
talk to
stand
both.
by.
I'll talk to both chiefs.
It
Yeah,
was like somebody.
I'll
Please
talk to
stand
both.
by.
I'll talk to both chiefs.
It
yeah.
was like somebody, I still got a recorder at home, you know, on my landline, and that's what I got.
You know, and it's okay if 911 isn't going to work there, but then they need an alternate number to call, and that needs to be posted. And
That's what I say,
Like
post
these,
it.
Yeah, I
yeah.
wonder if they even
All
know
the fact that
911 didn't work.
doesn't make any-
Even
all
though
the fact that
911 didn't work.
Doesn't make any sense.
it doesn't make any sense, but there
you
should be a
ask
backup.
Jeff
there.
Turp, I mean, he's from Louisiana when I tried it.
Yeah,
I tried it,
no,
we
I
both got
believe you.
kicked
I
off.
believe you.
You know.
It's just some network with all the people on phones.
Yeah.
There or
I don't know.
service.
Or service, maybe I was
Yeah.
under, no, yeah, I was under the tent, because I was
The direct
taking care
number
of
to
the guy.
dispatch.
But I mean, if there was a major
Post that.
That's,
event.
that's
Yes.
it, I mean, usually there's police walking around with radios, but
Yes.
we were looking for,
Yeah.
They were
Yeah.
very far and
We
few
would-
between.
yeah,
Yes.
We made a comment about the same thing. We usually see more police than we saw. We didn't need them, but we didn't see.
Only time I saw the police officers was when we had one walking with
No
us.
way.
Oh, and we had to grab one to collect a check.
That's all right though
That was
too,
the
but it's
only-
the fact that you couldn't get 911.
yeah.
Yes.
Or the.
Yeah,
or
that-
That's
We
the
don't
big
need
deal.
all the cops, we just
No.
need
No,
911.
that's what I mean.
But I
And
was-
you don't need them all around. You need them
I
when,
mean, my
where you
next
need
step
them
would have,
when
my
you
next
call.
step would have been,
When
my
you
next
call.
step would have been to call the station, I know the direct line
Yeah.
to the,
Right, the
police
non,
station or the
non-emergency
firehouse.
one.
Yeah, but then there's no guarantee there's going to be
No.
nobody at the firehouse.
so, I mean, I just, if we can get that, if they, you know, make a number next year, if we can get that number posted, I mean,
Or if
I
they
finally
can-
got it from the police officer, and he had a call, I mean,
Or if
I
they can-
finally got it from the police officer, and he had to call up to the command post to
Yeah.
get the number. He didn't have the number either on it, well, he's got a radio. But he called
Yeah.
up there, he's, you know, to get it for us.
Sure.
And then I posted it on our board up there where we got all our licenses and stuff, and I told everybody.
Yeah.
If we need the command post, told everybody.
Yeah.
If we need the command post there, you know, there's the number.
Actually, in
Yeah.
Cudahy, we didn't have the enhanced 911 yet. So for every event, I had cards printed up special to hand out to everybody to call dispatch direct, you know? So if
That
911
was,
is not
yeah,
going
that
to
was a
work,
problem. I mean, the guy, hopefully the guy made it. I mean, he was an alarmman, and I could see the,
too much beer or not enough beer?
no, I don't think he just got there. He
Not
looked like he
enough.
was hot, you know, hot. He was,
Not
he didn't
enough.
even have a beer. He had soda in front of him, you know. So, but he was, he had typical symptoms, and he was
Sure.
ashen and sweating, and,
Yeah.
you know, he just went out, and I thought, oh, he's going out. He came back up, you know, he came back up.
This is really something to note for next year that we need
Well,
to,
that's why I wanted to bring it up
Yeah, I
tonight.
wouldn't have even thought of something like that. But
Either
I'll talk to the two chiefs.
make sure
and-
911 works and post it somewhere.
otherwise the
Call
card is-
911 for emergency or call,
The command, as long as we have the command post,
A
but if
number
they're gonna
that's
put us
gonna
on
work.
hold or on that, but if
Number
they're gonna
that's
put us
gonna
on
work.
hold or on that, if we gotta go through an answering machine.
Yeah.
But it's not just that, it's if a vendor or somebody has that information, that's fine, but if just a regular person sees something, they have to be able to.
Exactly.
that's my
That's why it should be
If-
posted.
Yeah.
If all the taverns and the vendors had that, you know, we put that in with their permit. Taverns and the vendors had that, you know, we put that in with their permit. You know that number?
Yeah.
At least, you
Yeah.
know, the public ain't gonna know that number.
Right,
What are you
that's
gonna
what
do, put a
I'm
banner
concerned
up?
put it,
Yeah.
you know, they have to post their permits, put it on the permit
But
somewhere.
if the
That's
public
what
has
it's-
an
yeah,
emergency.
that's
That's
what
if
we
you know
did.
the number
Yeah.
beforehand.
Yeah, so we know the number beforehand.
Yeah,
Right.
And then
I,
try, so we know the number beforehand.
yeah,
Right.
And then
I,
try
I,
it.
There
Yeah,
can't be a not,
No.
there just can't be a 911 doesn't work option.
no,
Yeah.
it's not an option.
No,
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that could have been a fluke.
did it not work for the parking lot incident,
No,
or it just was a delayed?
Yes, the parking lot incident number because they could not find any Franklin cops walking around. My brother went to the sheriff, and happened to be, it was on Monday, and it was during the shift change. So the first guy kind of like plays everything off, and what the incident is my brother and another gentleman were in the trailer, were walking, and another lady who happens to be his wife had their 10-year-old daughter or 10-year-old son, and the guy with his girlfriend and a new baby got into it with his wife, and he grabbed the kid and took off, and she's yelling, "He's stealing my kid."
Oh my
Oh,
God.
jeez.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
jeez.
So we had almost a abduction, and Patrick kind of like tried to get the situation under control, and Jeremy, and got the guy to come back, but trying to get a police officer. It was 45 minutes before the police officer showed up.
Okay.
You know,
So-
you can't expect them to be everywhere, but
So-
you can't expect them to be everywhere, but you
No.
got to be able to call them
Correct.
instantly
call 'em,
and
right.
tell them where you're
Yeah.
at.
Right.
Yeah.
The guy had her purse and was trying to, got the keys and took the octopus thingy off the car. And yeah, it was not fun. Yeah, it was not fun.
Okay,
Yeah, just
we'll,
so
we'll deal
aware.
with it.
Yeah.
But we get that number, you know, the command post
Yeah.
number.
Can we? Do you? I'm sure you have all your information, but can we put that so that it's definitely covered at the first meeting next year before the? That's all.
First,
I ask.
yeah, I do
all I
want to
ask.
talk to the chiefs about it
Yes.
now, though, in case it's something
Yeah,
that
sure.
they have
Maybe
to.
test 911.
Yeah.
Like I
Yeah.
said, I was under the tent, and
Yeah.
so was
Call
Jeff.
911
but-
and make sure it works.
It's right,
But
but
both
we need
are
to
mobile
guarantee,
phone.
be guaranteed next year that it works
Yeah.
too for
But
us.
both our phones were kicked off in 911.
We should go back to pay phones.
We used to have them
We,
out there.
every year when I do pool inspections, test the emergency
Red
phones to make
phone.
sure they dial 911. Many times they don't. So it's either a line, or they shut off service, or
Mm.
the sun ruined the wiring, or whatever it is. But
Hmm.
so it's probably good to do a test from multiple locations.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Sure you.
we'll test
And they
our
don't
tent
mind.
next
We always
year.
call ahead and tell them.
See, a lot of times when you call 911 from a cell phone, you get the sheriff's department? Or do you gotta ask? How's that work?
Well, see, that should be enhanced now for Franklin. If you call it
Does it matter if
Franklin,
you're under a
should.
tent?
Yeah, because both of us were under the tent, but we were on the
They
outside.
shouldn't.
I don't know why it would, but I guess.
Because if it's not enhanced, then you get the sheriff's
Can you
department.
be
and they
standing
direct
in
you to
water
where-
and iron your clothes and
I
dry your
on a
hair?
Sunday.
just kicked this off both times. You know, you got,
Do my tests, I always get dispatch here. I always get like,
You call them from a hard line though,
yeah, that's true.
yeah. Something with the cell phones.
All right,
You know, when I
well,
do accidentally on my phone, I always get them immediately. And it happens all the time. And it happens all the time.
So rules and regulations, if anybody needs another copy that was emailed, if you could take a look at them so that before we have, if I get answers on any of this other stuff, like where are those 4x9 signs, which I thought were put out and now finding out that they're not, and the 911. So I can always send the rules and regulations, but now would be a good time to take a look at if there's anything that we need to change so that when we do meet again, and when I get expenses and revenue, I'll send that all out. Also, just don't reply to all, because then you're a walking quorum, so.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I have a question. Was there any issues with any of the food or any of that stuff while you're here?
Yes, there was. We have one that we have officially requested to not renew their permit for next year. And when they came in for their permit this year, I had a long 45-minute meeting with multiple people, including interpreters, going over all the issues we had the previous time, making sure that they had solutions to them ahead of time, power issues and preparation. So they told us they were gonna fix all of those issues, and when we got there, it was not the people we talked to when they came in for the permit. Different people were on site, and it was a mess. It was temperature issues, both a mess. It was temperature issues, both hot and cold. They said they were gonna prep everything ahead of time. We don't want full-on restaurant prep in the middle of a field. It's just too risky with food out everywhere, and you know, it just was exactly the same issues they had last. You know, it just was exactly the same issues they had last time, including.
Where was this?
I don't know. Yeah.
What kind of food was it?
Right, but where in the fair?
It was mid.
In the
about-
center? In the
about-
center?
Yeah, west side of the road-ish.
That doesn't, they're out though now, so
Yeah.
the problem
Yeah.
solved.
So I mean, that has been our precedent at other events too. If we give them a chance to correct what they did wrong, they're asked not to come back after 2 different times where they're not willing to come back. So it's not that we're doing anything different than we've done. We definitely have precedent for that, so. And so Sandy and Katie have that noted for next year, not to renew that.
And especially when you take 45 minutes to explain things in detail, and then those are the people
Well,
that.
is it on
Yeah,
present
and
somewhere?
They weren't.
Okay.
And I didn't see them. They may have been there the next day, but the day that we were working with them, the license.
I mean,
Did-
there is
did you shut 'em
exceptions
down
when the
that
guy
day?
dies in an ATV
No.
accident the Sunday before.
that's,
But-
yeah.
We fixed what we could that day, and
Okay.
and we did end up fixed what we could that day, and
Okay.
and we did end up throwing food away again. Made sure they had limited their menu and things like that for going forward, so that they weren't. We went over with the people who were there then to correct those problems that we had gone over previously with the people who were here. So those problems that we had gone over previously with the people who were here. So it just. It did appear that there was just a lot of, they just didn't care. So they just weren't listening to what we said. So, and honestly, in general, every other vendor was more than cooperative and more than willing to change anything that we needed. And most of them were just, you know, that they know what we expect by now, and they're repeat, and they're, I mean, that trailer by you, that thing is like spotless.
Yeah.
That is like, I mean, you could take a class service in a temporary setup, so there's good, there's plenty of good, it just doesn't need to be,
Oh, you got one bad apple.
yeah.
Yeah,
Out of here. Yeah.
right, exactly.
There's plenty of people, I think, who would be willing to come knowing if they're gonna get the business, so. I was hoping he would, because I know he was kind of, I don't know how this is gonna go when we were talking to him
Before.
Sunday morning.
No, they were lined up.
Good.
Yeah. Like all day.
And I think that if Summerfest is gonna go back to the summer,
Yep.
we might get some of our food vendors
We
back
had more
because.
people at the fair than they had at Summerfest.
Yes.
Right, but,
We
back
had more
because,
people at the fair than they had at Summerfest.
Yes.
right, but some of the food vendors, like 2 of them down by me, were at Summerfest,
Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
the popcorn
I
guy.
think we did somewhere in the 29, which is low for us, something like that.
Yeah,
So-
because I think.
Which is low for us, something like that.
Yeah,
So-
because I think you're either in the high 30s or low 40s.
Oh, it had been up to almost 50 at one point, like 7 years ago. But yeah, we usually are in the 30s to 40. So that was what we expected though, with the everything in question kind of beforehand. So, but overall, yeah, good.
Is there anything else, or do we put a next meeting date, or do we leave that open? In case we need to do something?
I would hope if we do something, it's like probably in the February, March vicinity. We do have an April election and a February election, but
February or March, I need to have planning for.
Why don't we do May or-
Out renewal notices for permits.
Okay.
And this year, we kind of held out until, so the license year runs July 1st through June 30th. So in a perfect world, we'd like to mail them out by, April, May.
We don't have monthly fairs anymore, so
But if people wait, if we don't mail them out till June
We booked.
15th,
The book-
and they all return,
And our license year runs July 1st through June 30th too, so if they need food
Yeah.
licenses or, well, we need to look into it or get their.
and they like to know, they are having it, and, that was kind of a dilemma we were in this year, but,
That is another
If-
point, though, we had that extra, we either charged inspection fees or license fees if they didn't have a license this year, which was new to all the vendors, and we only had one complaint. Which was new to all the vendors, and we only had one complaint.
oh,
And that was because she didn't know she had to pay she claimed she didn't know she had to pay the person she rented the spot from,
Oh.
your office,
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
and my license. So that was the only complaint we got about
Yeah.
fees. So that was good, because
Yeah,
we got about
Yeah.
fees. So that was good, because.
yeah, we had one of those.
Yeah.
but if we could meet early enough, so if we revise the rules for any reason, or make any changes, or want to do something, we'll have time, so that's why.
Can I bring up one more thing before we go?
If it's,
Related to all of them. We canceled the monthly fairs a couple of years ago because the vendors couldn't make it, because the vendors all had other obligations. But COVID kind of put everything on hold and kind of blew everything out of the water. Is there any possibility that we could, out of the water, is there any possibility that we could consider a monthly fair again on any day of the week that anybody chooses? I don't care if it's a Monday night or a Monday or Sunday or Saturday afternoon. Is there any chance that we would entertain anything like that now that vendors might be free because everything else in the past?
Well, some of the markets are done, but there are still, like, South Milwaukee still has theirs Thursday nights.
Yeah.
I know there's something going
And I
on in
know they're coming
Muskego.
back,
that's
but
but
I'm
even,
just saying,
but
maybe
I
yeah.
think even
vendors-
for next, like for spring of next year, we do get a lot of calls. People will say, do you have a farmer's market?
I think we should look into that.
I think we should.
Just something
too.
for even a few months. I mean, nothing for January, February, and March, because
Right.
we don't really have any ducks and chickens going out right now.
And I don't care what day of the week it would be or night or however we do it, but I think COVID is giving us kind of a window here.
For
with
the
vendors.
plants and their tomato plants and their vegetable plants.
That is a good idea.
I think on
Thanks.
So maybe what if we sent off a questionnaire
Yeah, good
to everybody
idea.
that had a permit, or put something out there on the newsletter for a survey
Good idea.
or something?
Good idea.
I mean, there's a lot of them that go onto the Franklin website and just, there's a lot of them that go onto the Franklin website and just, what do you think about bringing back a fair for St. Martin's on a monthly, once a month or every other, just like for a couple of weeks?
like on a Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Because everybody's working, it used to be a farmer's Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Because everybody's working, it used to be a farmer's market. The farmers, all the
Yeah.
little farmers would show up.
Sure.
Right.
And then else-
And then spend the
Like
afternoon in the
Greendale,
bar.
Greendale has it Saturday mornings from 8 o'clock till noon. So we did something in the afternoon.
Sure. Anything.
We can mock something, now that I'm in artwork.
There you go. Cut and paste.
Cut and paste.
And if I run it past two of you, and I'll probably run it past you in case it's going to tie into food, and you're a non-voting member like me, so two, if I say, what do you think of this?
Yeah.
Does the rest of the committee agree with that?
I think we've got an opportunity we should at least try.
Yeah.
I have one thing that has nothing to do with anything but seating. I had a bunch of people that, and I only had, over by me, I had 2 picnic benches. I don't know what, and I could see people were actually walking around with chairs, and in all the empty spaces, they were sitting down. I don't know.
Yeah, we usually have people show up on our front porch.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
because
put-
there's seats,
I put 4 picnic tables.
We got chairs around our bars, so that helps.
right.
And then we have
Yeah.
little tables
Yeah,
and stuff.
yeah.
People, great, they were
You
playing.
guys,
Okay.
yeah, you guys had. you
Right.
guys-
I'll see if maybe they could
Yeah, we
We
could
have
put
more
some
picnic tables or more stuff,
Yeah, those
especially by the
tables
porta
are
pulling
potties,
stuff from
to
the
put some more
parks,
stuff.
yeah.
And then I was
Yeah,
also
tables,
thinking
yeah,
the
yeah,
Lionesses
yeah.
had that,
You have a container ship in
the Lionesses had that,
you have a container ship in the
staving all the bags or whatever to build a
Yeah,
bench.
that's pretty cool.
Since they are the Lionesses as a committee, could we do something like that to get a free bench or something? They said that you just have to have a committee, and would we be considered? They said that you just have to have a committee, and would we be considered that? I don't know. To get a free bench to put somewhere along,
Yeah, I don't
The
know
bike
the
path or
details of
something,
the
but-
bench, but I'd have to, if it's like a grant or a,
it was like the Lionesses are able to do one a year, and they can put it anywhere in the community. They can put it anywhere in the community, I was told. So if we could get the Fair Commission to sponsor or whatever, to collect plastic bags, which I think I myself could probably do all that. To collect umpteen pounds of
I
plastic
never know if I should
bags.
fold them or roll them or talk about that. Are you guys in?
I know what they did, yeah, they collected paper, plastic bags.
Or else we do something.
You know, I can get the name of the,
Okay,
I gave the name of President Lioness, and I'll have her give you me the info
okay.
or call you or something.
But I mean, to
And
get a
then-
bench or
then
something
let-
was the barricades for the car tracks. I myself stopped
For
two
the what?
cars on the car
Oh.
tracks coming from Forest Home Avenue. They turned in by where the car tracks are, bike path, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah,
And
I'm
they
not.
drove-
I'm like
What's a
not.
car track?
I'm not.
They drove down,
Yeah,
And they
I'm not.
drove-
I'm like
What's a car
not.
track?
I'm not
they drove down.
clicking.
They
path.
drove down the bike path because the gates are not locked. And they had to turn around, I made them turn around in my office and go back. I happened to be putting somebody in their spot. It scared the living daylights out of me when this car came. And I thought this was how to get to the fair. I'm like, no. But they have the barricades open so that the bikers can go through and so the rescuers. But if we could just get it closed on one end and so the cars can't come up.
Or more easily put up a temporary one that
Right.
for those
Put a
days.
sign up, this is not a road.
Right.
Yeah,
But Daniel told me that somebody turned in from Sunnybrook. Is that the one that's on Forest Home by Robinwood?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sunnybrook? Came in from Sunnybrook and got into the hayfield off that way. And the people were on the bike path walking. And people were on the bike path walking. And people were screaming. The little old lady didn't know it wasn't a road.
Oh, jeez.
So that was a
So it's
concern.
so the bike
Another reason
path
we need
at.
911.
Oh, she came by.
The bike
not
path
the
on
school,
Forest,
no, by
yeah.
Country
Dale,
Dale.
Country
Okay.
No,
Dale.
no, by,
By Country Dale,
Country
Forest
Dale.
Home.
And
because there's a road to it.
Oh, there's one over there too, but that one has a thing by
Maybe we
it.
should take our bikes and go there one day because I don't. I'm not.
Yeah, it was a car
familiar
track, it was a
with-
trolley track, sorry. But they used to have a chain on it, and now they have those bars and they're
Yeah.
open.
Yeah,
But have those bars and they're
Yeah.
open.
yeah.
But, and I've asked for them to be closed a couple of times because just in normal days, they have come all the way from the church straight down. And that's dangerous. By the time the cop got there, they were already on to Rawson Avenue. Drove all the way through, from the church to Rawson.
Really?
But if
Wow.
I tell Public Works close them
On Forest
one
Home is
end.
where I'm thinking. If they
Okay.
get closed on Forest Home. At least coming into St. Martin's, so.
Can the bike still get through?
The bikes can get through, because
Yeah.
the gates are like, and then they have them open right now that they're coming out because they cut in the grass and stuff.
Right. But if you're going to do it on one end, you probably should do it on both
Well,
ends.
right.
Otherwise, you're going to get them coming in on the other end and stuck on that end.
yeah.
And then have a donation jar there for to get out. Do not pass go unless you make a donation.
I did get one complaint from a vendor who said that they read the police chief's attachment that we send to everybody about once you're in, you can't, chief's attachment that we send to everybody about once you're in, you can't get out till the fair is closed. They weren't in yet and the fair didn't open yet, but the officers wouldn't let them in.
That was on Sunday morning. They
So-
did have it closed earlier.
Yeah, and so I will deal with the police department on that. So I will deal with the police department on that, because then the sergeant said, well, we don't know anything about that. Those aren't from the police department, and then but the person, I said to them, would you mind filing, or sending me an email with the details? So she did. They were very nice. But they are a vendor.
That reminded me about the parking. There was no parking signs on Forest Home this year. Public Works did not put any no parking signs on Forest Home. They put them on St. Martin's Road. But there were cars parked up to the fire hydrants on Forest Home Avenue. And there were no tickets.
Okay.
So, to adjourn, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed?
Who made the motion? You?
I did.
Motion, we adjourn.
All right. Dave,
I second.
okay. Motion carried.